You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the April 26th meeting of the Long Beach Park Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay. Sorry I was a little late, everybody. This is my first time running it from the town hall. So I'm just now letting everybody come in. See Janice out there. It just does it automatically now when you start it. It popped up on my screen. Yeah, all I have is a way to stop the video, not start it. So I assume that it's on, and then people are going to talk. How does that work? Janice, say something.
Can you hear me?
Nope.
Oops.
No.
Unmuted.
This is going to be an audio thing. Audio.
Is Renee at the office for the police department?
I'm going to check the speaker.
Okay.
The main black speaker.
Yeah.
Janice, can you hear us?
Oh, no, you're okay.
Oh, she's talking, but we can hear her.
What else to do with that? Try now, Janice. Still no?
She's muted. Janice, can you hear us?
Now she's muted. Try now, Janice. Just say something.
Hi, Zach.
Got it. I don't know what I did, but I did something. Okay. I think we're ready to go. So we got a couple more people coming in, so let me let a few more in. Okay, Dina, you ready? Everybody ready?
Yep.
All right. So we'll call the meeting to order. This is April Parks Board meeting. Everybody's present today. Do I need to do a roll call because it's Zoom? No, I do not. Okay. So first order of business, let's approve the March minutes. You get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So approved. And we will just carry on and get into ongoing business. So in the agenda, ongoing business was just a couple, 2 or 3 of the stops, but I think let's just simplify things and talk about all the stops at the same time. You guys are all good with that? There's a lot of information on all the stops, so bear with me on what all is going on here, and I'm continuing to let people in as we go. So welcome to this town council meeting, everyone that's still coming in. So I'll start with stop 19. Actually, I'll start with stop 16. Let's do it numerically. So 16 was going to get boardwalk repaired by a resident and some volunteers. Wasn't in that meeting, but he had come to us with a dollar figure online, with an email. We were okay with the dollar figure. So that's going to be organized by Dan Stesich at stop 16. So if you're interested in helping out with stop 16, we're going to just repair some of the boardwalk planks that are rotted away on the boardwalk itself, and then on the platform where there's benches also needs some repair work. He's going to do all that. He's going to provide the tools, and we're going to provide all the materials for that. So excellent help from Dan and whomever helps Dan to do that work at stop 16. And that's in our budget, right? Correct. Okay. So that's that. The Cottonwoods at 16, you asked me to put that on the agenda.
We're still waiting next week.
Okay, good. And that's going to be, we had said originally that was going to be every other year. Now we're going to do every year, or it's still every other year? Okay. Okay. Thanks for handling that.
Joy? Zach, we couldn't hear Joy's comments.
I didn't hear your comments at all there. I'll repeat. So she said that we're going to get those inspected on a every other year basis as we originally said we were going to do. So those are going to be done soon because the property to the east of 18 is having the same trees trimmed. So we'll get the same work done on 16. I keep saying 18. We'll get the same trees done as well. Hopefully that was clear, Janice.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Stop 18 pillars. So somebody emailed me, and I can't remember his name, Anita. I can get that to you after the call. It's on our park board Gmail, but asking about if we can get the lights put on at the pillar. We talked about this over a year ago, probably 2 years ago. Yeah, because we've got conduit there. All the other pillars have the lights, and it was just a matter of we couldn't find somebody that could do it. So we just need to find a licensed electrician.
Zach, is there microphones on? Are there microphones on? Because we can't hear.
Yeah, they're all on. I don't know what else to do, John.
You gotta talk right in. You sure got the batteries in them?
Oh, they're on. They're loud in the room in here.
Oh. Because we can't hear anything out in the audience.
Maybe I should, let me look at my mic, because my computer mic may be on as well. I don't know. Do you hear me, John, or you hear nobody?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
My guess is that everything is coming through my laptop audio. Okay, so these mics are doing nothing effectively. Yeah, let's do that. So we're gonna relocate a little bit so that my computer is picking up more voices. Sorry about that. I can't move my computer because it's at the table where the plug is. This is comical, really. It won't pick you up from behind my computer probably, but you've got a naturally loud voice, so hopefully that'll work. No offense. All right. We'll try this, John. You can still hear me, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. All right, so what we're talking about is the pillars of Stop 18. That's one of the few, maybe the only pillars in the town that don't have the lights that we have at the other ones. We're going to have Anita's volunteered to talk to one of the contractors that she has at her house and try to source some lights that looks close to the other ones as we can. Wayfair, whatever. So yeah, thanks Anita for doing that. I think that's it for that stop, other than while we're at 18, we're going to plant some dune grass at 18. We're going to plant dune grass at 21. We're going to plant dune grass at 23 and 24. That has already been ordered. We're just waiting on the vendor to put us on the schedule to come in and plant. This is the time of year. So it could be done anytime really this month or next month. And I've already emailed him to find out when we're going to be on that schedule. But we're just going to be filling in gaps where 18 needs more grass, and then 23 and 21 don't have any, and then 24 is just a filling in the gaps as well. So that's coming. Okay, Stop 19. We got a couple issues at Stop 19. One of them I've been pretty vocal about, so I'm not going to talk about it too much more than what we spoke about in town council meetings, but you guys fill in the blanks and give your opinions if you feel differently than I do. Well, so there's a contractor that's working on the property at 1900, which is just to the east of that stop, who previous contractor allowed access for a pool being built in the back of the house to use our stop as egress and bring equipment through the east side of stop 19. It caused some damage. That was immediately stopped. Stop work order was issued. It was reinstated when the original contractor was pulled from the work permit. The contractor now is Topiarius, is the GC for that job, and the sub is the pool contractor. I can't remember the name of the pool contractor. So Topiarius has formally asked the town, the building commission, for access to drive some of the heavy equipment through stop 19 into the backyard. It will damage the stop, obviously, and then they will repair it. It is now. I'm just sort of going through the history. So you're right. So the building commission basically said, Parks Board, you guys can make that decision. What do you guys want to do? We unanimously voted against it. We think it's precedent setting. We don't think it's the Park Board's responsibility or the town's responsibility to provide access to the rear of a home to do something that's not essential. And it's going to damage the stop, and it's going to damage future stops if we allow that on other properties as well. So we are against it pretty firmly, and we hope that everybody else is as well. The town council voted in the last meeting to provide access in the same place to fix a hole that's unsafe, backfill some sand into the pool that was being dug out. So that's temporary. They're going to do that, and then they're supposed to repair the stop. So once they repaired the stop and got it back to normal, to the condition it was previously, the next phase of this is they want to put the pool in September, beginning in September. And per the plans that I got from the contractor for Topiarius, that's a 15-week schedule, including all kinds of work. They gave me a picture of about 6 pieces of heavy equipment they're going to be bringing in and out of there. And I don't want that to take place personally. None of us on the park board do. And we think they should find another way to get that work done. I don't care really what it costs them. It's not our responsibility to make that happen. So I just want the residents, people on this call, to be aware of what's taking place. I've sent emails out to stop captains and anybody I can think of to give them my opinion. And hopefully folks will email the town council. That vote's going to take place sometime soon. I don't know when. It's going to be the next town council meeting or the one after, but they have the ability or the authority to veto what we're saying, basically, and allow that to take place. The argument that some of the council members have is that they're going to help beautify the stop when they're done, and that's great. I just don't think that they went through the proper channels to get the work done to begin with, and I don't want to get that precedent set that as long as they give us some money, that they can damage the stop property that we've been beautifying for years just to build something in the back of their house that's unnecessary. So anyway, just wanted to get that on the record, Anita, and fill in everybody that's on this call on the facts of what's going on. And if you've got questions on that, you can send an email to our Parks Board email, and I can give you some more answers on that. Or just come to some council meetings. It'll be discussed again in the next council meeting. Okay, other issue at Stop 19 is we were aware, of course we were aware as soon as it happened, we've got no way to get from the base of Stop 19 down to the beach without jumping. It's just down there today. It's about a 5-foot drop down to the sand. Of course, that's unsafe. There's a wall there, and that's basically what's holding back the sand. So plenty of emails on the subject. We agree it needs to be fixed. So we got a quote from a contractor, a registered contractor, that's going to put in a platform down there. We've approved. We've got a building permit applied for, and it is approved to do that work. I'll show you what that's going to end up looking like in just a second here. Share my screen. What we have to do down there has to be metal, because it has to meet the ordinance regarding stairs going down to the beach from seawalls into the public trust. So what you're seeing here on my screen, hopefully, somebody comment if you don't see it, is the plan. So the concrete wall is here. There'll be a landing. This is all going to be made out of aluminum. Stairways going down with graded treads into the sand. We've got a dugout concrete form here for a 4x4, a steel or aluminum 4x4. So this is going to be the access to the beach. This stairway runs towards the west, and it's 42 inches deep from the edge of the seawall, which meets the ordinance that we have to put in a stairway down to the beach at the end of 19. So I spoke to the contractor before this meeting. He's eager to get started, and hopefully you'll see some work on that soon. I'll provide an update via Facebook as soon as I find out when that work is going to start at 19. So that's good news. Relatively cheap to get that done. Questions on that? No? Okay, so stop 21, I guess, is the next one. This one's been ongoing. So Woodruff did all the work, but what's left to be done is to put a fence at the top of the seawall at 21. And we got to put a water fountain in where the blue pipe is sticking up out of the ground. So I'm going to have to start looking for quotes for someone to do that. I'm probably just going to let the same person that's quoting all the other work I'm talking about right now quote us to put a nice looking fence up there just for safety reasons. And then the water fountain's probably not a big deal. So I'll work on that. And that stop will be completely done aside from the dune grass that's going to get planted within the next 4 weeks. Stop 23 needs the same thing. And I'll just get the same style fence put up there. Something that's that was, at least in truth, that doesn't block the view to the lake. Hopefully it will also be safe. Stop 24, we got grass coming in like we talked about. And then I haven't been involved with some of these meetings, but you guys met down there about landscaping. What's going on with landscaping at 24?
Waiting for the pullback with some sort of paper, the gravel paper or something like that to help with the issue of trying to walk down 24 on so much gravel stuff there. That really is the main focal point. But still managed to not have that gravel. So waiting on that quote, and then some of the plants that you ordered that were ones Janet picked out, but they're not ready. So that's what I'm waiting for plants to come in.
And they'll be in Friday.
Okay. Janet, do you have anything to add on 24? She's really at it.
Yes, it's good. Oh, there we go.
Did I cover everything, Janet? I was just saying, did you hear what I was saying?
Sorry, I can't hear.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Did you have a question?
Can you hear me at all?
Did you hear me report about the report just now?
No? I hear you, Zach.
Yeah. Okay, so 24, we've got plants coming in. They're going to be here Friday.
Yes.
We're getting a contractor to quote us putting in pavers, and those will help us get from the sidewalk where there's gravel down to the ramp area that gets down to the viewing area. That's as far as those are going to go, and that will hopefully help us with the access to get down to the viewing area.
Correct.
Is there anything else you have to add about the paver, or not the paver, the landscaping at 24, aside from the plants coming in?
The first section of plants will be right along the pavers. So when we have that, it will look nicely finished. So we'll have 4 of those planters with the plants that were ordered just this week.
Okay. Thank you.
And we can order throughout the year, right, from Midwest and Dan.
Okay, so what we'll do from here on, if anyone's got to speak, we're going to have to just play musical chairs, I guess. I don't know how else to solve. All those plants that I ordered from your list, Janice, are those all going at 24?
Yes, all for 24.
Okay, so that being said, where does that fit?
That comes out of the landscaping budget. Regarding
This.
wages.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you, Janice.
You're welcome.
Stop 28 and 29. So those are the next 2. So If you were at the town council meeting or at the special town council meeting that took place on Monday, we talked about this at length. So I don't want to get into all the budgetary details around both of these stops, but I will fill you in. Let me stop sharing. I will fill you in on what we're planning. So 28, we've been talking about doing for a very long time. It's functional. It's not dangerous at this point. And we do have a quote in from a vendor to get that completely repaired and replaced with a 6-foot wide stairway matching what we have today. There'll be an extended platform at the top, so it'll come off of that concrete platform and go a little bit further with wood, and there'll be a nice 2-way bench up there. So that quote is in hand. I don't have it. I've got just the drawing that I gave, the same PowerPoint that I showed you the first time. There's no drawing, but it's the PowerPoint. I'll get that to you again. So we need to get a building permit to get that done. That shouldn't be an issue. But the finances are an issue. So the stop work that took place at 21 and 23 ended up being quite a bit more expensive than anticipated, but we had to get it done. It was basically a 100% overhaul of both stops, which we didn't budget for. The erosion issues is what made that happen. So we had a special meeting with the town council on budget and finance on Monday to talk about how we could get 28, 29, 19 all completed this year, hopefully before the summer, or at least started before the summer, and help and have the town help us pay for that. And I don't think that's going to be a big problem. I'm probably speaking too soon, but we've got a meeting set up with Tim Perry and budget and finance to go through all of that. The quote we got for 28 is within the original budget that we anticipated, but what we did not anticipate is that 29 was going to be in a state where we could bring it back to life. And that stop has been down for at least 2 to 3 years completely. We've got existing boardwalk that gets you out to the revetment, and then there's nothing after that. So what the plan is at 29, once I show my screen, why am I not able to do that? I'm having more trouble with this thing today than I normally do. I don't understand it. That. Okay. So if you go and stand on the beach at 29 and you look up in the air, you'll see the wooden platform coming to about here. It just stops. The rest of it got eroded away. Under here where my cursor is rock revetment, and now we have a beach to come down to. So the quote is to bring this aluminum platform level with the wood platform. We've got a piling that was put in the ground by Woodruff that's ready to support this, and then bring the stairs down heading west into the beach as close to the rock revetment as we can get. So up there, it'll be south of the existing really low seawall that sits at the base of 29. So because this is all aluminum, it's all metal work, it's going to be equipment involved down there. This is obviously more expensive than 28 is. I think the quote's about $35,000 for this one. We can't afford to do 28, 29 this year without some assistance. So that's what my goal is to try to get approval from the council to fund this from another bucket within the town so we can get this done this year. So I will stop there. Any questions for any of you guys on all this work? This is a lot of stuff here, a lot of work that's going to have to take place, and we want to start as soon as possible. So we are applying for the building permit for 28 and 29 with the anticipation that we're going to get the funding. And if we get the funding, the contractor is ready to start. So we're in a good position as long as we can get the funding. Hopefully we'll find that out before the next town council meeting. If we can meet with Tim Perry, which I think is going to happen. Okay, so I'll move on to Beach Garden Club update. So Janice, I know you're there. We hear you better than me.
So Beach Garden Club, we kick off our season on Thursday with our first meeting. We are going to be working on an overall plan for the entire park area, especially to consider the new septic field area and see what we can do about doing some plantings around there, incorporate it better into the landscape. The other thing we have is the park, the Arts in the Park, and we'll be working on the Kids Discovery Trail again this year. And I'll be working with Sarah. And Sarah, I don't know if Sarah's on, but I will get with her and we'll work through the camp as well to include the kids, since we're having it on July 30th.
Janice,
A little cold to plant yet.
the mulch should be there. I haven't looked actually, but Tom ordered a bunch of mulch and it was supposed to come Monday. So he's going to spread almost all of that and
Oh, great.
help out. So just let him know or me know if there's an area that you don't want mulch or something looks weird, but he said he thought he could handle that.
I'll text him.
Okay.
Okay, and meet him out there. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Janice. Sarah, you're out there, right?
Yep, I'm here.
What do you got for us?
We have our next free Tai Chi is going to be May 10th. She's going to use this as kind of a gauge. We discussed how there hadn't been super great attendance, and so she has been kind enough to offer us a couple of free rounds just to see if we get better attendance before we have to start paying. So our next one is May 10th, and depending on the attendance at that, we'll determine if we're going to offer it during the summer months or not. We continue to have the Turn Up Fitness classes on Saturdays at 8:30 to 9:30 in the community center gym. First Saturday Arts, again for May, it was already fully booked with a waiting list over a week ago. That's been super successful. I am in the process of planning the summer specific events that like our movie in the park, we do a cookies and canvas, and we're going to try to kind of stagger those in with the Arts in the Park so that every roughly 2 weeks during the summer, we have some kind of event going on for families available at the community center and around the community. I am looking currently at getting some, because I know funds are tight, getting some funding or donations to kind of help with some of the background costs for some of those events that we would normally have, to see if we can kind of help with that a little bit this year. We have finished interviews for the few counselor positions that we needed to fill. They are currently at the point of getting their background checks done, but we should know within the next couple of weeks if they've passed both the background check and then their drug test to continue employment. That training will be Friday, June 17th for staff, and then camp will start June 20th. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you.
Yep, everybody knows where to get your camp information, right?
They should. We've posted it. We've shared it. A couple people have emailed me about it, but many years ago, we set June 1st as our date to make things available so that nobody ever has to really remember or check in on it. And we put it then on the town website, our Facebook page, and then we also make copies available at the town hall until camp starts. And once camp starts, they're available with us. So it's been the same, and it's done well so far. So
Good. Yeah, I get emails all the time, so I'll send them.
yep, send them my way.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, old business. The signs at 24.
So Mark Swistek, chief / administrator Mark Swistek and I worked and met with a contractor designer for some signs. It's all started with the desire to put a sign at stop 24, like there used to be, that just designates town hall this way, police fire this way. Just to keep it all short, basically, we kind of like what we saw. We might want to see some more options, but Mark is going to take that over and spearhead it on his own and run it up through other channels or whatnot, because it's kind of morphed into a bigger project. We decided that it would be nice to have all the signs in town match. Some of them out front here at the town center are peeling and just not in great shape, and it would just look, and then if we're going to do one, we might as well do them all. There's not that many. There's like 7. So, but it's still costly. Anyways, he's going to need to probably tap into something above and beyond what the park board could pay for, riverboat funds or something like that. So that has kind of been moved off of the park board's plate simply because it's only one sign that would fall on park property versus the other signs are general town property that the council should probably vote on. So the one sign that I will still investigate and get a price on that I would like to repair, Janice and I thought it would be nice to replace the sign that is currently at 24 that looks like an advertisement. It's like white and it says town DNR or whatever. It just looks, I don't know if it needs to be there or not, but we'll figure out if there's any language in there that needs to say. But Janice found a great replica at the Indiana State Parks, at the dunes and stuff, where they have more of a waist-high sign that wouldn't block any view, that would be enclosed in glass, and then we could put in it maybe some historical information, something about the area, something about erosion, topography information, something like that. So once Mark goes down the path a little further, I'll have him still get that individual price. And that may be something the park board would pay for and do, but the greater project of a sign at 24 that says police, town, fire, Mark's going to have that up, and I would like to replace that one sign that, like I said, looks like a cheap advertisement with something more like the national parks have, maybe offer some historical information on the area, and so that's still in the works.
Yeah, I think they could hear if you get the mic. So we're not picking up off the mic in this room. Okay. Janice, you'd asked me about tree pruning in the park. Are you handling that through Tom? Do you want to talk about that today? Is there anything we need to do to help you with that?
No, it just get many of the dead branches out. There's some pretty big limbs that are dead in some of the sycamores. If you want me to talk with Tom, that's great. We can go and look at that. If it's not needed, that's great.
No, leaves are done. I was with Tom today, and he's they're in the process of cleaning the parks up, so this is the right time. So if you see him tooling around in his truck, or you want to get his text from me, yeah.
Yeah, I have a cell, so I'll contact him tomorrow.
Okay.
Great, thanks.
All right, and then the last one that we wanted to give this old business is Art in the Park. So,
Okay, hi everybody. I heard from Sue Keenan today. She has 14 signed contracts back for artists. She's trying to limit it, and she hopes to have 15 by the end of this week. She's trying to limit it to only 3 artists per category, like only 3 jewelers, etc. So if anyone knows any potters, she still needs some. I don't think we even had 10. I want to say maybe 8. So yeah, I think it's going to be really good. We still have our ice cream truck all set up. The question Sue has is, when do we start advertising? It's going to be July 30th. You start advertising too early, people just forget about it.
I was going to say 1 week for July 1, maybe 3 weeks before we have July 1 starts.
Okay, so we'll try a beater ad starting the first week of July, or the rest of July. Yeah, July 4th is the big issue.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's all I have for that, unless anyone has any comments.
Yep. Okay, Anita, I had on here for you tennis court bench. Did you want to get that tonight? No. No? Okay. We'll bench that. All right. So the only new business that I wrote down, unless you guys have anything new, was we talked in the town council / budget and finance meeting on Monday about this whole topic around the contractor at 19. There was a lot of back and forth about, do we want to have some kind of an ordinance that says, here's what we're going to do when that need arises? And, at first I was thinking, that's not a bad idea. And then Anita made a comment, which made sense to me too. Why do we want to pigeonhole ourselves into a firm stance on something like that when every single instance in our strange lot arrangement, topography, what have you, in this town could be vastly different? So I'm sort of on the fence between, do we want to just say this is going to be a case by case, is our recommendation going forward, work with the building commission, work with the building and zoning appeals, or do you want to, what do you guys think about having some sort of recommended ordinance on egress to homeowners through town property at stops? And it's going to be hard for you guys to hear this discussion, but we'll try.
Is there not an ordinance on egress?
There's not an ordinance that spells out how the town is going to give people access to their property like what's happening at night. There's an ordinance that says there can't be motorized vehicles on stop property. There's plenty of ordinances that say you can't do that.
Yeah, there's an ordinance that says you can't move heavy equipment into the coastal zone.
Yeah.
I think, I don't see why the town should have to allow it anyway.
I agree. I mean, I would like to.
It's a council decision, it's way above our pay grade, but if they're asking for a part of an opinion, I would say they have to find personal property that they can put through acres, like a lot of people do. I mean, Bill Went lost people to that.
Right. And I think, yeah. I agree.
But ultimately, the decision is so not ours.
Yeah, that's kind of the point, I guess. I mean, we can make recommendations, but like it doesn't mean our recommendation. It's just the way it works. Anita, am I correct in saying your opinion on it was that we should probably leave it and do it on a case by case?
Yes, and I think that the other issue that came up was when you were talking about what is part of and what does it do. And that was where I talked about pigeonhole, that it doesn't need to be in writing, that it has worked extremely well.
That's true.
And I've only been on the park board a short time, but the park board has taken on more responsibility, has functioned incredibly well, and that's when I said, why do we want to start putting in writing what exactly do and don't do when we work extremely well with the street department and the staff, and that was where I talked about we don't need to be stuck in this little road that we can't go off an intersection. So
I tend to agree, especially since this year was crazy. Last year was crazy. We're not going to, in 15 years, we might have another Blake event that's going to destroy 3 or 4 stops all at the same time. But we're only talking about this because of weather in one particular period of time. Otherwise, we've managed this perfectly well with streets and with the town. So my position on this has kind of changed just listening to everybody talk about it. I don't know that we need to define it either. I'm kind of with you on that. So if you all are in agreement, I'm the one that brought it up to begin with. I think John may have mentioned it too, Coker and maybe John Wall on let's define some limits on who does what. But when I give the town council report, if I'm able to this coming meeting, that's going to be the recommendation, unless you guys disagree that we've been handling this fine for years and years. We are only talking about financial issues this year because of the storms. Let us continue to operate like we have been in the past, and the stops are going to be, we've got enough money in our budget to handle what we've been doing, which is making the stops look pretty amazing in my opinion.
I just want to add too that I thought that was interesting because it was being discussed as if there is someone else on the table that wants our job, like wants the work. No one asked the streets department if they want this huge job. They're already overwhelmed, and from what I've heard from Tom a lot, he's kind of riding a one-man show. There's not another organization that I know of that functions, maybe the community center, that functions as well and does as much work as the park board. So the fact that it was thrown out that maybe someone else should do this job, I'm thinking, who? Because the reason why we're doing it all is because when Joy and I joined, 10 years ago, nobody was doing anything. So nothing was getting done because everybody was giving the work to Tom, and Tom can only do so much. No departments were meeting, there was no building commission, there was no park board, they weren't doing anything. So we happen to be go-getter people and we're doing it. So just to make some ordinance or some recommendation that now we're going to assign it to a group and then just tell that group, hey, guess what, guys? You're responsible for meeting with contractors, coming out with layouts, doing engineering work. I mean, that's not even been, those people haven't even been told they're going to be getting that job, that are a volunteer job. So that was just interesting to me. But I agree. I mean, we all do this for free. I would love for some of it to be taken off our plate, but in all honesty, I don't think anyone wants to, there is not another group that wants to do it or would make sense to do it because, just the function of the park board, the parks, the streets, the tennis courts, it's all kind of the community centers. And so, I think pigeonholing it's just a waste of everybody's time because it's going to change. Then you're going to say, oh, this is this department, and they're going to say, we haven't met in 6 months, we're not going to do anything. So I think pigeonholing is just a big waste of everyone's time.
I'd just like to say that last year really was an exceptional year, and with all the damage to the shoreline, we didn't have any choice but to get involved with Woodruff and to partner with them while they're repairing the shoreline. And it turned out to be some really expensive projects, but like I said, it was an exceptional year, and that won't happen every year. And once we get that, those finances taken care of, I think we'll be good to go.
Yeah, and to your point of view, I don't think, to be fair to the council, I don't think anybody was trying to take that off of us. I think that came up because I was the one saying, we didn't used to pay for all this, now we're paying for all this. So I was the one sort of saying the reason why we ran out of money is because we're paying for stuff we don't normally pay for. Okay, well then we'll take that off of you. I think that was sort of the response, but I don't think it was meant like that. I think they were just saying, if it isn't yours, then whose is it? So I think we keep it, and I think we're fine. I think I agree with everything you were saying. So.
Or they just give us more money.
Or they just give us more money.
We'll take our own. We can take our own budget to get things done. We'll get it done.
We have enough in our capital budget on an annual basis to do what we've been doing, is the point. Right. Okay. Then that's all I've got for new business, old business. Anybody else have any new business that's not been discussed? Or open it up to public comments. Okay, so public comments, we've got quite a few people on the phone today. You can unmute yourself and give your name and address, and we'll do our best.
Zach, I don't know if this is John Hosteen, 1908 Monrovia.
Hey, John.
How are you? First off, thanks to you and your whole board. You guys are doing a great job. Know it's a volunteer job, but I really want to thank you for getting back to, I've heard from a lot of the residents around Stop 19. They've reached out to you and the park board, and they've heard back, and you guys have really kept us all up to date. So thank you much for that, as well as going ahead, John, to the council and giving your board's opinion. My one comment there is I hope they don't lose out on your key point of this is setting a precedent. This is nothing towards the single homeowner. You know, if somebody was building a pool in the middle of an address and didn't have public space, how would they get all that equipment in? So you got to look at it like that, and setting a precedent to let somebody use public space for that and damage it. You guys are here to protect us. So I hope you guys are heard from the council, and I, myself, and some others are going to reach out to the council and make the same statement. So again, thank you. My one question, as you showed that schematic, twofold. I see how it's being built so it doesn't go out into the lake and stuff like that. Knowing that I watch everybody walking down the street with wagons and coolers and those big frog pads and wave boards and things like that. Is there an access point where they can go straight down and slide that stuff? Because you're not going to get one of those lily pads, you know, on that 90-degree turn to the stairs. And I don't want to see people with those big items. You know, if there's a little spot off to the side, they can even drop it over the 5-foot drop or a slide board there. But you got a lot of bigger pieces coming down.
Yeah, that's really the option, John, is to toss it over the edge or go down 19 or go down 20 and try the same thing. The access at 20 is a little bit easier. It goes straight down.
Okay.
18's got a little bit more like rocks and stuff to walk around, but we can't really build much more of a structure down there, John. We'd be violating the town's ordinance at that area. So that's really the option. The way we're building it is the only way we could do it. I
like the schematic. The schematic is perfect, but if you build it, you know, in the center, if you build it a little more to the left, you know, as you use the public property, you know, left as you face the lake, maybe off to the right is a spot for people to go straight down with these items. If you center it, you might be taking away some of that spot, is my question and my point on that.
I think I followed what you're saying. There's a limited path anyway, John.
Right.
There's only maybe 2 to 3 feet of width where the grass has been trampled down by foot traffic. So we can't adjust that with tools or shovels so if people want to create a footpath to the right of where this platform is going to be, and it's created by natural foot traffic, then that's the only way that's going to happen.
Okay, perfect. I was just saying if you know, left justify it versus center it, and to give that room for that. But that's
we'll take that into consideration when we go down there to mark out exactly where that's going to sit.
Thank you again, and the whole board.
Appreciate your comments, and encourage everybody that agrees with you to send emails off to the council members as well. Continue doing that, and I know some people have been, so I appreciate it. Okay, anybody else? Going once. All right, going twice. I think that's it. Move to adjourn. I'll second it. Aye. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Have a good night.
Thank you.